Lord Magistrate is probably one of the worst lords in the game, but, you know, you can potentially make him work here, especially if you're doing something absolutely wild in your Slade here on a quick battle. He's got 10 Jade crossbows, well, 5 with shields, 5 without. He's also got some Celestial Dragon crossbowmen mixed in here, including the Regiment of Renown. Also got Jade Lancers, 1 Peasant Long Spear, and the Lord Magistrate. And there's no caster, because why would you need one? We've also got the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, and some Greenskins to face off against them. A couple of Goblin Rock Lobbers here, including, yeah, Hammer of Gork, rounding it out to 3. We've got some Savage Orc, Biggins, some Spears, Goblin Spears in the back, Stone Trolls, and Orc Boy Spears up front. My Goblin Archers kind of scattered around here, looking to do some skirmishing, and some Spider Rider Archers as well, even though these are probably one of the least cost-effective units in terms of shooting right now, I would say, given how cheap they are. I mean, they just don't do very much damage at all, and, I mean, barely 11 damage total with 2 AP, and, yeah, have like 20 ammunition, so pretty bad, to be honest. But let's see how it goes. Right away, the Rock Lobbers are going to make their presence felt, just absolutely pounding some of those Jade crossbows up front. The 1 melee unit here as well, the Peasant Long Spears getting hit. But Greenskins definitely want to get on the move and start rushing. We do see some Peasant Horsemen trying to swing in on this artillery, kind of bypass those Stone Trolls, although now they are in hot pursuit. They'll just charge down those Night Goblin Archers most likely. But let's see, those Stone Trolls get pushed back pretty quickly. Of course, they've got their missile resistance, but the Grace here, of course, deal magic fire damage. So that fire damage in particular, magic damage doesn't matter at all actually anymore against trolls, but flaming attacks definitely does. See the effect there on the Stone Trolls as they take significant damage and get routed. That said, Cathayans also taking significant damage. Some of those Jade Crossbowmen going to kind of chase spiders, make sure they stay zoned out. Mobility of Cathay also keeping up the pressure, and this is sort of twofold here, to attack these units, but also to pull a lot of the melee units of the Greenskins away from that front, where they could be charging down the Jade Crossbows and whatnot, using these Peasant Horsemen and Righteous Lances here to great effect to do just that. You know, like these Stone Trolls, Orc Boy Spears, not rushing down like they really should be. I mean, the Greenskins, if they brought the house all together, we're able to get a really cohesive rush going here, it would be pretty good. I mean, the Orc Boy Spears especially, you're not going to trade terribly here, honestly. They have pretty good weapon strength overall, even if their AP isn't amazing. Got solid enough melee attack stats. I mean, defense stats not great, but the melee attack with Wa is going to be really nice if you can get some Wa going. Night Goblin Shaman's also got sneaky stabbing here. You could potentially throw out in some key engagements, but let's see as this continues to go on. The crossbow is going to turn and fire at whatever gets close, since they're attacking a little bit piecemeal right now. As Long Spears coming in for that leadership route, but of course our Lord Magistrate is suffering at the hands of the Night Goblin Warboss here. Although the Night Goblin Warboss is about to be unsupported as his goblins rout. You see a little Vindictive Glare there as well. Not going to do too much actually. Vindictive Glare is mostly anti-large actually, if I remember correctly. But it doesn't actually list anything on the card there. But yeah, multi-projectile doesn't do a crazy amount of single target damage unless it's against a large target. And even then, it's not a crazy amount. It's just a decent amount, to be honest. But Lord Magistrate probably still is just going to get killed by the Warboss in melee. The sneaky stabbing certainly helps a lot more. That weapon strength and melee attack buff is quite impactful. But let's see, Slade's missile defensive position here, continuing to just fire at whatever threats present themselves. The Righteous Lances are in a great position here as well to sweep in and clean up some of these low leadership units. Yeah, Stone Trolls are going to need to do quite a bit of regenerating and fighting here if they want to try and prevail. There's a decent amount of mobility here as well for Cathay to kind of run around and protect as need be. Make sure these crossbows stay safe. But, yeah, even with Lord Magistrate getting routed there by the Night Goblin Warboss, he still takes a lot of damage from those spears and everything else. Wa being popped here is definitely going to help some, but the Greenskins are kind of on the ropes right now. I mean, I say kind of, definitely on the ropes right now, as army losses is basically imminent at this point. The Goblin Rock Lobber crew somehow manages to not get charged by the Righteous Lances. I guess they're coming in maybe to try and finish the Night Goblin Warboss there. But, yeah, Stone Trolls here coming back from route as well. Could potentially regenerate a little bit of HP, and maybe, nope, looks like Greenskins player just going to throw in the towel there. Also, definitely possible there is some desyncing in that replay. It's been happening quite a bit since, like, Creative Assembly's done quite a few hot fixes lately, and so a lot of my replays are a little bit strange right now, but that's okay, we'll persevere. The Jade crossbow spam, not technically tournament legal, but definitely an interesting one for quick battle for sure, and there's something to be said for that. Crossbows, just generally, as a unit type, even the non-AP ones, I guess only Dark Elves really have AP crossbows. Everyone else, their crossbows have decent AP. Better than most bow units, and so the Cathay ones having, you know, decent armor of their own, very comparable to like Quarrelers, right? Very strong in general and cost-effective when used appropriately. And here, Celestial Dragon crossbows also got some really nice value, shooting at those stone trolls. A little bit of a meme game, but that's okay. I mean, we expect as much from Slade. Yeah, Greenskins, the Rock Lobbers were definitely a solid choice. Could have potentially gotten a lot more value had they been a little bit better protected. And honestly, I keep saying this, and I don't know, you know, maybe it's not getting through. Maybe not enough people are watching this, but when it comes to Greenskins, just don't. Just don't. You see how little value these Spider Riders got? That's a waste. It's just a waste of points. So, unfortunately, Greenskins Light Cav was the best in Warhammer 1 and 2, and I've talked a lot about that on the channel in the past, but currently, right now, we'll see if things change with the DLC that's supposedly coming later this year, but in general, the Greenskins Light Cavalry is pretty poor outside of, like, Squigs and Squig Hoppers specifically. Everything else is kind of meh. I mean, melee Wolf Riders are okay, and especially in numbers, they can do alright, but even against, like, let's take the example of Cathay and Peasant Horsemen. Yeah, 400 cost, right? Similar cost to the Spider Riders. You can see the Spider Riders are kind of worse all the way around, except for their melee defense, but pretty much everything else. So I guess a little bit more armor as well, but pretty much everything else. Leadership, even the speed, right? Because they're on spiders, they don't have 90 plus speed. Yeah, they similarly suffer, and of course they do have WA, which I guess is kind of a balance with Harmony, especially because with Light Cavalry, you're probably not getting the benefit of Harmony that much. So, yeah, it's just a, I don't know. You might think on paper decent, and definitely the melee ones can be for sure, but that loss of charge bonus in particular, 14 charge bonus, definitely feel that on Cavalry. And like the Wolf Riders, you know, they have more unit models, which is nice. They have less HP overall, though. And again, just kind of worse stats in every way, pretty much. They cost 100 points less, but that extra 11 leadership, 44 leadership means Wolf Riders route super easy, right? So it's just they're gonna struggle even in like combats against enemy Light Cavalry unless they have some direct buffs. They're probably gonna lose, and even then, like if they do get direct buffs, they might still just route, like depending on how the engagement plays out. If they get some rear attacks or like a little leadership effect or terror unit nearby. Yeah, I mean, Spider Riders do offer a little bit more upside from the melee department, in my opinion, because of the poison, the melee defense, and the armor. It's not like they're necessarily tanky, but they can hold maybe a little bit better when you're trying to defend archers, like in that scenario. So yeah, I would definitely say instead of taking the Spider Rider archers, just opt for the melee the melee Spider Riders and try and protect those catapults. Because these guys are not going to do anything, especially against the armor of Cathay. But, I mean, even firing into ideal targets, which I would consider to be kind of like, I don't know, Marauder Horsemen, maybe other shorter range skirmish cavalry. These guys can, or have been in the past at least, been able to trade well against, but not so much these days. So, not that I think, this is kind of a spicy topic, not that I think that a lot of skirmish cavalry should be, like, extremely good, but I definitely feel that most skirmish cavalry and chariots in the game are not up to where they were in Warhammer 1 and 2, which, you know, tactically for a lot of factions definitely changes dynamics of how they play. But, I mean, I look at, like, even one of my favorite units historically, Pistoliers for the Empire. you really just don't see them very much, and they struggle to be cost effective even with good micro, and so the micro tax ends up just not being worth it straight up, when oftentimes you can just take other units to do other things and just be, you know, more cost effective about it. But one thing would be just to increase the ammunition counts. Like, Pistoliers have pretty solid damage. That's never been their problem, but the low ammunition definitely hurts. Now, granted, there are ways you can kind of offset that with the Empire a little bit. But, like, do you really want to be using a restock on Pistoliers? It's like an extra added level of micro to maybe make them pay for themselves. I don't know. It would be nice if they had a little bit more base ammunition to begin with, and I think that would also apply with Greenskins Missile Cavalry. These guys, though, might need a little bit of a damage bump, honestly. I guess the Wolf Riders do have an additional 1 AP, or the Spider Riders do, rather, which is nice, but then the Wolf Riders have 20 more unit models, which means they do straight up more damage, especially in ranged attacks, and they're 75 points cheaper. But honestly, just adding like an extra couple of base missile damage, maybe 1 extra AP, same thing for the Spider Riders, would definitely go a long way into helping them out. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification every time I upload a new video. You'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.